We are back on Inside Tennessee. Cameron joining us remotely. Again, Cameron, we appreciate you saving us from whatever you were exposed to. Let me just ask you this. What do you think is the number one issue facing the city of Knoxville right now, and how would you help solve it as a member of council?
The number one issue facing council, really facing our city, it affects just about every aspect of our lives, is that the per capita income for the city of Knoxville is only $29,000. The median family income is only $44,000. We have a 22% poverty rate, and if you're black, it's closer to 50%. There needs to be a strategy with all stakeholders, including the Chamber of Commerce, to bring in better jobs into this area that pay people a living wage. People can't afford the more pricey houses because their wages haven't kept up. They can't afford the increase in rents because their wages haven't kept up. That's the number one issue. We're a low-wage economy here in Knoxville.
And the way to change that is recruit new business with higher-paying jobs, if I understand you correctly.
I think so, but I think it's also having serious conversations among all leaders in government about how we can make this better, because I don't know the answer, the complete answer. I just know that this is a huge problem, and there's no one in government that has talked about it.
Mr. Worsham, you're a small business owner. What's your take on the number one issue facing this community, and how would you solve it as a city council member?
You know, there's just so many. You know, housing, affordable housing, and you know, he's right. The living wage has got to go up. People don't understand. Everybody in this town is hiring, but nobody is applying. Right now, I've had to add up to hire people for 8 months and had like 3 applications.
And what is that job paying that you're hiring for? How much an hour?
We're in the upper 20s. You know, and that's good money, but with the inflation that you got going on now, the housing market, where the pre-COVID $150,000 house, great. Now that $150,000 house is $375,000. Well, now you have to make 30, 35 and up to be able to afford that $150,000 house. And when the economy goes back to normal, which it will eventually, that $350,000 house that they're paying $2,000 a month on is not going to be worth that anymore, and we're going to be in a bigger mess.
It's a big problem. Ms. Fugate, your take on the most important issue facing the city and how you would solve it?
I think that's really hard to pick one issue. I think the one big issue facing the city is how we manage this substantial growth and demand for housing in the city. I agree about wages. That's why I'm glad, you know, the city did raise its wages. Yes, the tax increase was not popular, but it made at least 30% of our public works department actually get those positions filled. We were paying too little. So the city raised its wages, and now we're more at full employment. So I think the government cannot fix everything. Government's role is to play a part in convening and helping folks in our community work together to solve problems. We can never pay enough taxes to fix everything that all of us sitting here and everyone in the city wants fixed. They're all legitimate issues and they all need to be addressed, but government is limited, and so the city does what it does by incentivizing things through the Affordable Housing Fund, which I was pleased to help create, that incentivizes developers to develop at a cheaper price. I know I'm talking too much, but there's a lot, and there's no easy answer, or it would already be done.
Well, Ms. Fugate, we appreciate your perspective. Mr. Worsham, thank you for coming on. Mr. Brooks, thank you so much for joining us as well, and always good to see you, whether it's in person or remotely. So best of luck to all of you in the upcoming primary. We'll certainly be in touch, and we're going to be back with our talk around right after this.